Well, we've arrived back at the house after a couple of weeks in Pattaya and Suntory working. She's got a few days off. And, well, a big surprise really, because the kitchen is well on the way to being completed. And I hadn't expected that. Another surprise, another stunt pulled off by the dear missus. We sort of agreed directly before we parted company that we would wait until we were both back in December before getting people to do this, but no, she's cracked on with it, remotely as it were. So that's looking good. Got one little query on it, but I'm just going to leave them to get on with it. There's a lot of banging going on up here. Let's see what's happening. I haven't done the steps yet, so I'm crawling up here a bit tentatively. Oh look, the floor's going down. We decided on vinyl flooring, which is light and easy to fit, and easily repairable as well, because you can just pull out one plank and put a new one in if it does get damaged. And yeah, it looks like they're making a good job of this. These are self-adhesive, these planks, so that's really good idea. I've not seen that before, and I used to work for a flooring company in the UK. We didn't fit vinyl, but I was very much aware of all the products available. I was never aware of self-adhesive ones. And I had lots of different floors fitted in my own properties. Carndine it was, so I was certainly aware of the products that were available. These seem to be going down okay. If anything does lift, then we can just re-glue it with a dab of vinyl flooring adhesive. Now these guys are the normal village guys who basically do everything, but they're offsetting all the joints properly. They've never fitted this sort of thing before, but it doesn't seem to matter. They've worked out how to make it look good, and they've done it the right way round as well. They've done it long ways from the doorway, which is the correct way. The floor was clean before they started to put it down. I know that because Suntory mopped it. But they're certainly making sure it's clean enough for the adhesive to work, so I'm very pleased with that. So that'll be finished soon. Now let's just have a quick look at the kitchen, because it's not exactly what I designed initially for Suntory to consider, but she wanted to do her own thing, and so she has. And what we're going to have here is the drawer unit. You can see in that box there, which I've just brought back with me from Pattaya, and here is just going to be a door, and that's just going to provide general storage. You can see it's all been tiled out, and it goes around the corner a little bit, so it's quite a lot of storage in there, especially if we do get a little bit of a shelf unit of some sort here, so we can have two layers of pots and what have you. Yeah, these guys are well used to making kitchens, so I don't suppose it took them that long to work it out. The query I've got with this, which I'm not actually going to do anything about, I'm just going to let it happen because it's a bit late now, and now the build's happened, it's pretty much impossible to sort it out. But you can see where the sink's going to go, which is a bit peculiar because it's sort of in a corner. Now I'm not going to be using it, so I don't really care very much, but you're going to have to stand right in the corner here to actually get at the sink. It's not going to be totally unusable, but it's certainly not ideal. However, there's a bigger query than that. and that is that it's going to be completely sealed in, completely. The pipes for the water in and the water out will go through that hole in that's in the outside wall, which is at floor level. But there's going to be absolutely no access to this sink once it's in to sort out any problems that should occur, like a leaky joint, for example, or a blocked drain. Now the blocked drain can be overcome quite simply by not putting in a U-bend, a water trap if you like, which is liable to block, and just have the pipe coming from the sink and draining straight out. So there won't be much possibility of a blockage like that, but I'm just a bit concerned about things like the joint to the tap and the joint to the fixed pipe, because if they should ever work loose or not be fitted correctly to start with, I can just see this filling up with water before we even know there's a problem. And anything we need to do with the pipes will require the sink to be taken out, and just putting them in, fixing everything together and then dropping the sink in is going to be a bit of a bind. But I'm going to leave it to them, because it is Suntory's project totally, and I'm really not going to make a fuss about that now it's built. Yeah, it looks alright. It's going to be a decent addition, this Thai kitchen. It means that her son and her can cook out here and not really worry about me fussing about the mess in the kitchen, although of course eventually the mess out here might get a bit too much to bear, but we'll see. It's alright anyway. And this wall is now complete and it's basically finished. It's just drying off before I will paint it. Eventually I'll paint it. There's no hurry for that. I'm going to make sure it's well dry. I might just put the primer on to start with and worry about the colour later, because some of the paint on this, some of the white paint on this wall is yet to come off, as you can see. Where it's been put on without any primer, it's coming off. So I think I'll be leaving this pretty much as it is, because it's not really necessary to have a prettily coloured garage, is it? I'm more concerned about sorting my storage out and tidying up. So what have we got left? We've got the electrics to finish off inside the annex. That will be done. That will be done when all the painting's finished. The metalwork inside needs to be painted before I put any wires through and start fixing that finally. We've got the threshold to do on the door, and obviously the sealing of it to make sure no water gets into the room. And we want the steps to be widened so they're safer. And somebody in our absence is gradually painting all the metalwork here in a grey, so that's obviously about halfway through, so that needs to be finished. And the soffits, is it the soffits, is that what you call them? The soffits up there at the front need to be painted out. So there's a little bit of painting to do mainly, and a little bit on the kitchen. But we've had some bad weather again. We're actually at the end of October when I'm filming this, although you'll be watching this in December. And we've had more bad weather, which is why the lads are here, because if it wasn't bad weather they'd actually be somewhere else doing something else at the moment. Like the rubber plantations need to be harvested, and there's also some outside building work that they're involved in at the temple, which is on hold when the weather's bad. So I'm hoping for a few days of bad weather, just selfishly, so we can get this finished. Okay, that's the end of this update really.